A condemned young 13-year-old was beaten, rejected, and ultimately banished from Islamic school by his Quranic teachers. The Imam issued a decree that he was not to be spoken to, even by his own family. Abdul's only sin was that he was asking too many questions in his search to know more about God. Lost and alone, he contemplated suicide as he walked a South Asian road. Despite thoughts of ending his life, that day's journey marked an exciting new beginning.
It was a hot May day. I was coming home about noontime. The temperature was about 100 degrees and we had 84% humidity. I looked ahead and I saw a young man going to what I assumed was to the bus station through which I would be passing going to our home. So I told my rickshaw puller, let's stop and pick up that young man ahead of us.
When I was on the rickshaw and I was talking with him, and he talked with me so nicely, and he was so, it's just so good. And I had a feeling, I'm a condemned man, nobody wanted to talk with me. And this man, why he's so good to me? I was really doubt about him. Is he a man or angel? So when I was sitting on the rickshaw, and now and then I was touching his hand to be sure he's a man.
By day's end, Tom and Abdul had struck up a friendship. At a later encounter, Tom gave Abdul a Bible. Several nights of intense study of God's Word led to Abdul crying out to God for salvation through Jesus Christ.
After Abdul became a Christian, he told his family about this, and of course, like all the neighbors, his father and brothers were very upset. He was put out of his home. His father joined in with the community and beat him, and this caused Abdul to leave home.
After many years away from home, Abdul heard God calling him back to the village of his youth. Once home, he encountered a childhood friend. His banishment from home still firmly in place, Abdul went to stay with this friend.
And I had my Quran and my Bible with me, and every night I share with him. Every night. Within 3 months he has a big sense, and he is ready to receive Christ, to take baptism. And then his parents understood that. They was very upset with me. In afternoon, they forced me and they took me to their field, when they're playing the soccer ball. They took me there and they tied my hand aside. And they was asking me question about Jesus, and somebody started to kick me with their boot, and somebody just boxing me, that everyone, they spit on me. They spit on my head, my face, my whole body was covered by spit. When Jesus was crucified there and said, Father, forgive them, they do not know what they are doing. I had the same vision, because they do not know what they are doing. And I was praying for them. I says, please God, help them to understand. Please God, save them and forgive them. That was my prayer.
left for dead, Abdul's friend, his new convert, came to his aid and released him from his bonds. He then begged Abdul, despite the torture he had just witnessed, to be baptized.
Next morning, it's about 9 o'clock. It's like an open place. I took him there and I baptized him. And after his baptism, I says, God, thanks God, thank you. Yesterday afternoon, I was beaten up in this village and I was only one. I was only one Christian in this village. But today, we are 2. Tomorrow, we can be 200. Day after tomorrow, we can be 2,000, God, if you want to. Yes. I think God listened. He had listened my prayer that day. In that village, we have 1,600 believers, and all of them, they spit on me, and all of them is believer today.
Que les islamistes font très bien. Actuellement, les chrétiens d'Égypte bénissent le Seigneur pour l'État islamiste. C'est parce que l'État islamiste actuellement est en train de montrer vraiment ce qu'est véritablement l'islam. Comme cela, les chrétiens se différencient totalement de l'islam. Ils montrent leur vrai jour, véritable jour. Religion de haine. Un islamiste, il vit dans la peur, continuellement. On peut lui couper la tête, on peut lui couper les mains au nom de son Dieu Allah, qui est un faux Dieu, qui est un démon. Il se regarde le visage dans le miroir, il a peur. Il ne sait pas. Quand il prie, il se met à genoux, il a peur. Il vit dans la peur. Nous les chrétiens, nous sommes véritablement la religion de paix, la religion d'amour. Nous pardonnons. Nous pardonnons. L'islam ne pardonne pas. C'est une religion de vengeance. Le secret d'une vie paisible. Une vie paisible. Nous les chrétiens, nous ne sommes pas des contentieux, nous ne sommes pas des gens de guerre, des gens de troubles. Nous sommes des gens de paix. Nous ne tuons personne, voyez. Nous ne prenons pas les armes. Nous ne sommes pas armés de couteaux pour tuer au nom de notre Dieu, voyez. Nous ne mettons pas des ceintures d'explosifs autour de nous pour faire du mal, voyez, et pour qu'ensuite, si nous mourons dans l'explosion, nos parents, évidemment, se réjouissent de notre mort, parce que maintenant, nous sommes avec des vierges dans des ébats sexuels éternels, là-haut, dans ce paradis de fous, voyez. Non, nous ne sommes pas du tout de cette race-là. Nous avons, nous, le secret d'une vie paisible, l'éternel, pas Allah, l'éternel. Le nom de Dieu, c'est l'Éternel. Ce n'est pas Allah. L'Éternel est mon berger. Je ne manquerai de rien. Dans les locaux de ce journal, Charlie, eh bien, il y avait un homme du gouvernement français qui déclarait en disant, eh bien, ces gens-là tuent. Et d'autres, sur le panel, étaient en train de déclarer, oui, mais on peut avoir des gens fanatiques dans d'autres religions, parmi les bouddhistes, parmi les chrétiens, les catholiques, tout ça. Mais l'autre, répondant sur le panel en disant, mais oui, mais ceux qui se disent chrétiens ne tuent jamais. Ils ne tuent pas. Ils peuvent être têtus, ils peuvent croire à toutes sortes de folies, mais tandis que les islamistes, tuent au nom de leur Dieu, au nom de Allah. Nous, chrétiens, nous avons une façon de vivre. Et lorsque des musulmans lisent la Bible, ce qui leur est interdit normalement, arrive à Matthieu chapitre 5 où Jésus dit « Aimez vos ennemis. Priez pour ceux qui vous haïssent. » Le musulman est totalement étonné devant ce que Jésus demande. Parce que dans son livre à lui, nous le verrons durant la conférence, la fameuse conférence, et elle va être sur Internet, ça s'appelle le Coran et le Christ. Ceux qui nous écoutent actuellement peuvent aller voir donc sur Internet le Coran et le Christ, et vous allez voir donc ce que le Coran déclare et ce que la Bible déclare. Si vous descendez dans le Coran, vous descendez dans un enfer. Quand vous lisez la Bible, vous prenez une bouteille d'oxygène céleste, de pardon, de libération, voyez. Alors que l'intégrisme islamiste, eh bien, assujettit les peuples entiers sous la férule des démons et de Satan.